First of all, just give us your thoughts. What has it been the last 1 week?
Okay. Thank you very much, Wole. It's a pleasure to be here. It has been a very interesting, challenging, and forward-looking first week. Uh, we've stabilized the new institution. We are thankful, very thankful to our main shareholder, the Asset Management Company of Nigeria, AMCON, who owns 100% fully of the company. So we've put in place a new team. Myself and the full complement of our executive directors are in place. And we've reached out to our key customers and to our key stakeholders. And this is another reason why we appreciate the opportunity to be here to convey the message that Keystone Bank is a fully operating commercial bank and has met all the required financial ratios of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Give us some insight into the balance sheet. We know obviously that AMCON has injected 283 billion to recapitalize Keystone. What are assets and deposits looking like today?
Okay. Firstly, the actual amount injected is actually 289, the net amount. In terms of assets, we are actually in a very fortunate and positive situation. We're actually under lent right now. We have just about 40 billion of core loan assets. So we really need to put on quality assets onto the books. We have over, if you juxtapose that, we have over 200 billion naira of deposits. So we have a significant deposit base. We now will grow the assets, but in a very carefully structured manner. And we have our niche areas that we're going to focus on to develop this.
And the big question is, how do you grow that balance sheet and how do you position yourself strategically? We know that Bank PHB seemed to have a retail focus before, obviously, the intervention. How is Keystone Bank looking to position itself in the changing marketplace today?
Keystone Bank will be driving very strongly around competitive advantages on efficiencies, on transaction processing, and we'll be focusing more in the middle market and the retail and middle markets. There's a large heritage of relationships we've developed. We are well positioned with the gradual migration in Nigeria into a cashless economy or reducing cash in the system. We'll be working solutions around that. We're looking at the value chain, the suppliers, the distributors of the large corporates. We'll be looking at employee-linked services. And if you go into the mid-market and the lower markets, the retail segment of our country, Nigeria, they're actually underserved in terms of financial services. This is an area that Keystone Bank will be very preeminent in.
Well, how much of a threat will be, should I say, the changing dynamics, where we now have, possibly by September, end of September, when some of these transaction implementation agreements become merger agreements, and of course the likes of Oceanic merged with ETI, and of course Intercontinental with Access Bank. Analysts have pointed to the fact that come September 2011, about 7 banks will own about 65% market share in this market. How can you compete in that context?
Yeah. No, it's an interesting proposition. It's really all about how you define your space. Oceanic, ETI, and Access, Intercon, and the rest of them, they have their own, if you like, larger market focuses. We, as I said, we will be very strong, more in the middle market, more in the retail space, and already from the early feedbacks we get in just literally a week of being in the institution, of the new institution, we're getting very encouraging comments. It is also aided by the fact that myself and my leadership team have had a very significant international experience and in international banking. These attributes will bring to bear working with our colleagues in the bank to take Keystone Bank further.
One last point. We do know that you have several subsidiaries. Now we're hearing that you should have a national commercial banking license. So that's what you have right now.
Right.
So what do you do with the subsidiaries you have in Liberia, Gambia, Sierra Leone,
and Uganda,
etc.?
Yeah, we have 4 subsidiaries, which incidentally are doing very well. So the strategy of Keystone Bank will be to review these operations to see if we are going to continue with it, or if as part of our subsequent strategy review, we need to make changes. So our national license covers us for the national operations. We are at liberty, should we wish, to get an international, the international license, and we'll discuss that with our shareholder. So in a review process, which we shall conclude very quickly in the next month or so, will enable us to determine which way to go. And incidentally, we've also reached out to the various countries, and the central banks of those countries have actually put out statements in the various countries, in Sierra Leone, in Gambia, in Uganda, advising the public of the new creation of Keystone Bank and keeping them very assured that banking services will continue positively.